Alright guys, Old Blue Accord. Guess where I'm at. Favorite rest stop in the whole world. And of course it's windy. I've noticed one thing about Berea, it is always windy. So just going over the Jeep real quick. Obviously we've been on the road. This is probably my third or fourth trip this week. So just glancing at the brakes, which are new. And ding ding ding, got a big old groove. It's not bad. Isn't that funny? I don't know what causes that. Brand new brake pads. Something, a rock or something got in there, but it is kind of interesting. And of course the rotors are rusting already. They're not coated, which I hate. But it's pretty windy out, so I'm going to jump in the Jeep. I just want to go through the gas miles real quick. I know you guys are usually bored with gas mileage, but it's busy today, so and the reason why I'm doing gas mileage is I put ethanol in my gas tank. I'm trying to be all, hysterical or whatever they call it. So I'm going to start it, and there's my average, and then we'll go through and check how many miles I've driven. So it's not one of these where I drove 5 miles downhill and then, like Thunderhead does. I'm going to give you the actual, and here's the trip. So in 116 miles, I'm getting 19, and that's with 2 gallons of E85 in 92 octane premium. So now as we sit here, I did have a 19 as I pulled in, but of course idling, and then me talking, it's going to go down too. So yeah, kind of fun. So I like to mix my fuel quite a bit. I've talked about it. Nobody really wants to hear it. Everybody says, well, if you put 10% ethanol in, you're going to get 10% less gas miles. And of course you have seen the mileage on my Jeep. Now it varies obviously because temperature dependent, which we're in a nice temperature range for gas mileage. 60 to 70 for me is really a pretty good indication that I'm going to get my top mileage. And I remember I've never really gotten over 19. I got an 18.3 the last 2 trips, so I'm kind of a little bit ahead. I'm not saying this to ethanol because, like I said, I put 2 gallons and then 16 gallons of gas in it, and I had some gas in there. So percentage-wise, a lot of people like percentages. I don't really care. It's probably 20%, but I've been crucified on that before. So let's just say it's 2 gallons in a tank of gas. And 92 octane, which I don't even know if that's 10%, but I assume that every fuel nowadays is 10%. So you do the math on that. Your mileage may vary. I love saying that. Okay, so yeah, and this is like a performance kind of vehicle, so we're not going to get super duper mileage. People freak out about that too. They buy a vehicle like this, or they buy a pickup truck like that, and then all of a sudden they talk mileage. Well, if you want mileage, then you go out there and get you a little, like that little red Toyota right there. It gets probably 40, 50 miles to the gallon. And, but you can't do the things that I do with this vehicle. So, this vehicle will cut through traffic like a hot knife through butter. And that's kind of important for me because I don't want to sit on the road for hours and hours as my back goes bad. So, yeah. But, looking good. Like I said, mileage is going down. It's going to be a quick talk. I did have a sausage like I always do here at Berea. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. New Year's is coming up. This is going to be short and sweet. Brakes are doing good. I'm pretty impressed with the Carbotech brakes. I haven't really put a real test to them yet. Got them real hot and everything. I'm just kind of in the break-in mode. And a lot of this highway driving, you're just not, you're not really using your brakes at all. So, but tires are doing good, all the good stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and jump back on the highway and get home. This is a Berea, exit 77, I-75, north and south. It's a great place to stop. It's busy today, but Buc-ee's was absolutely crazy. Obviously, it's like going to the mall. So don't want to deal with that. So just for some cheap gas or whatever. But yeah, so little E20 in the tank. Oh God, I said it. 20%. People are gonna flip out. Yeah. And that's all I got, really. Everything else is good. The Sprinter van did great on the way back. I tried to do a video, but too dark at night. Too windy, too this, too that. But Sprinter van did good. Got super duper miles with that thing. I'm going to actually have to check the mileage on that. I filled it, and then I did the last bit of hour and a half of driving, which is mostly downhill, in a diesel especially. Oh my God, I didn't use any fuel at all. I'm gonna top it off to see how much fuel I actually have. So I think I went 150 miles. I've got to math it out a little bit. I believe I fueled up at Buc-ee's and then headed south to Knoxville, Tennessee. So that would be 83 miles to the border, plus another possibly 60 miles. Please don't quote me on all that, but mathematically that's about 150 miles, I would say. So at maximum speed, full throttle. Oh, we're losing miles as I'm talking. It's just terrible. That ethanol will do that to you, let me tell you. But yeah, we'll go through the Sprinter van a little bit. Really impressed with that, as always, riding and stuff. All good stuff there. And Old Blue Accord, like I said, thanks for looking. Thanks for subscribing. We'll do some more on the ethanol and mileage, because it makes up people's eyes pop out of their head, I guess. And thanks a lot for looking. Have a good one. Bye.